Hello, you insightful listener, and a very warm welcome to this deep dive. We're here to, pull out the really interesting stuff from all the info out there.
Almost like panning for gold, maybe.
Huh, yeah, exactly. Or, speaking of digging things up, why don't scientists trust atoms?
Oh, no, I feel a joke coming on. Why?
Because they make up everything. I'm Hari, by the way.
And I'm Kimi. And yeah, today we're looking at this really powerful image you shared, the picture of the day for April 14th, 2025. It's a restored photo, looks amazing.
It really does, and it captures this huge dust storm. So our mission today is to kind of unpack the story behind it.
Also, see, we want to understand what we're seeing and why it mattered so much.
Okay, so the event itself, the photo, captures what's known as Black Sunday. That was April 14th, 1935, smack bang in the middle of the Dust Bowl era in the American prairies.
The 1930s, a really tough decade for that region. And this storm, Black Sunday, it apparently originated mainly in the Oklahoma Panhandle and parts of northwestern Oklahoma, too.
And then moved south.
Yeah, swept right down into Texas. The absolute worst conditions were in those panhandle areas, Oklahoma and Texas. But honestly, the effects were felt way beyond that.
So what actually caused something like this? I mean, a dust storm that gets its own name must have been, well, pretty intense.
Oh, it was. It was basically a combination of factors all hitting at once. You had a long, severe drought, so the land was incredibly dry.
Right, so the natural grasses that would normally hold the soil down weren't there or were weakened.
Exactly. Plus, farming practices at the time had led to a lot of soil erosion, leaving huge areas of just bare soil totally exposed.
Okay, so dry soil, bare earth, and then wind.
And then really strong winds. We're talking winds strong enough to lift massive amounts of that loose topsoil and just, well, blow it away at high speeds.
Wow. Do we know how much soil we're talking about?
Well, the estimates are staggering. For Black Sunday alone, they think around 300,000 tons of topsoil were displaced just from the prairie region.
300,000 tons. That's hard to even picture.
It really is.
Yeah.
It gives you a sense of why it's considered one of the worst dust storms in American history. The damage, both economically and agriculturally, was just immense.
And the photo itself shows the storm hitting Stratford, Texas. It's this giant dark cloud just rolling in. Incredible shot, actually.
Yeah, credited to George Everett Marsh Jr., and it looks fantastic after the restoration by Jan Forget. Really captures that ominous feeling.
It really does. And here's a kind of wild fact. Sometimes these storms picked up so much dust, like you said, that hundreds of miles away it would actually rain mud.
Mud rain. Yeah, imagine seeing that. Just bizarre.
Totally. And something else that maybe isn't as well known, we always think Oklahoma, Texas, right? The heart of the Dust Bowl.
That's the main association.
But the effects, like the dust itself, actually traveled much further, didn't they?
Oh, absolutely. That's a lesser-known point, but true. That fine dust got carried by the jet stream, and traces of it were detected all the way over on the East Coast, sometimes even making skies hazy near the Atlantic.
That's incredible. It really shows how widespread the impact was, even from something that started in the panhandles.
It really underscores how interconnected these environmental systems are. It wasn't just a localized problem.
So when we look back at that photo of Black Sunday, it's more than just history, isn't it? It feels like a pretty stark warning.
Definitely. It's a powerful visual reminder of what can happen when environmental factors combine with perhaps unsustainable practices. The consequences can be truly devastating and far-reaching.
It makes you think, doesn't it? How events that seem localized, like that storm, can ripple outwards, both back then and maybe now too.
That's the provocative thought for today, I think. What lessons can an event like Black Sunday offer us now as we face our own environmental challenges? How do seemingly local issues connect to bigger pictures?
Something definitely worth pondering. Well, thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. It was fascinating, if a bit terrifying.
It certainly was. Thanks for listening, everyone.
Until next time, take care.
Goodbye for now.